Good morning, church. Good morning. So, my testimony is a very long one, but I'm just going to shrink everything up in just 7 minutes. So, on the 18th of August last year, my home was not in a good place. Me and myself and my wife were not in a good place. So, there was war at home. And I woke up early in the morning and feeling some heartburns, but we're not speaking, so we're not talking. But to cut things short, God spoke to her and told her to ask what was wrong. And I told her I had some heartburns. So immediately she just called the 911. The paramedics came. They said something was wrong. They put me in an ambulance and they took me straight to Howard General Hospital. I got there within less than 20 minutes. I was gone. My heart stopped, and they rushed me straight into the operating room. Worked on me, doing CPR, and they did it a few times. I went back, and the third one I was gone for, they said over 10 minutes, about 15 minutes. They called the chaplain, ready to call the death. So the chaplain came, but my wife would not accept anything, and she was just on her knees and praying. She said, "No, this wouldn't happen. God didn't give us two wonderful kids to come on, just to take me away. So it wouldn't happen." So in the hospital room, she was on her knees and she kept praying. My cardiologist was also there. Now, at that point, he's a cardiologist. He knew that was it. So he knew the only cure at that point was prayer. So can you imagine your cardiologist in the operating room on the floor praying, speaking in tongues? So just as before they were about to call the death, I came back. But that is where God now said, you know what? He's now going to show that he was the one that did, and nobody could take his glory. So when I came back, before I go there, when I was gone for the 10-15 minutes, I came out of my body. I saw my body on the operating table. The earth was very dark, and I didn't want to come back. There was this bright light, and I was just moving towards the bright light, and that's when God came. And the first thing he said to me was, "Son," and he always called me son. My name, Julian, was left with my body in the operating room, and he always referred to me as son. And he said, "Son," the first thing he said was, "Son, I anoint you." And I asked for forgiveness. And then I said, and I always called him God. I don't know why, but I never said Jesus. I never said it. I just called him God. And I said, "God, forgive me of all my sins." And I said to him, "If this is what you call death, give me one more chance to make things right with my wife and kids." And I said to him that I know you have a lot of work for me to do. Just give me one more chance and I promise I'll get it done. And then he said, "Son, I anoint you." He said, "All I want from you is to spread your testimony. I don't want you to be a pastor. I don't want you to be this. All I want from you, share your testimony." And then he said to me that if you should write a book or do a movie, whatever it is, I don't want you to benefit a red cent out of your testimony. Everything needs to be given to the poor. Give everything to the poor. Then he said to me that I should basically just spread my testimony. That's all he wanted me to do. And I asked him that, because earth was very dark, so I asked that, are we in, is earth hell, and then once you die, you go to heaven? And he said, son, you wouldn't know what hell looks like, but that was not your path. So meaning that there is a hell. He wanted to make sure. And then as soon as he said that, he just put me right back into my body. And I came back. So now this is where, when I came, and now this is where the miracle started. So they were going to move me from Howard General because they couldn't operate on me in Howard General because it was too serious. They didn't have the things to operate on me. So they were going to move me to Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins is supposed to be, or is one of the best hospitals in the world. Just before they were about to move me, and this was we didn't have time. Just when they were about to move me, the pilot said, you know what, the clouds are too much, so we can't even fly. So now, my 5-minute journey became 2 hours to Hopkins. So as soon as I got to Hopkins, the doctor first came out. First thing the doctor said to my wife, why did you guys bring him here? I mean, we don't do miracles here. So first of all, the doctor himself confessed that he can do it, right? So there were a few things that they were supposed to do. They were going to do 3 different things, and the last one was an open heart surgery. They did the first one, didn't work. Second one didn't work. The last option was open heart surgery, and they told my wife that, you know what, the best thing is to let me go, because with what he has gone through, in the first hospital, they shocked me over 20 times. And I'm sure if there's any doctors in here, normally after 6, that's it. They did it 20 times. And they said, what I've been through, there's no way I'm going to be able to survive an open heart surgery. So at that point, everything that came out of the doctor's mouth was very negative. It came to a point where, so now, my wife was standing there looking at this doctor, and she now, at this point, she couldn't even hear anything the doctor was saying. God just muffled everything up, and God said, let the doctor go in. I need him. I'm going to do the surgery, but I need him there to operate through. So from what the cardiologist was telling me, that he didn't understand, but my wife had this confidence that just go in there and do the surgery. So they said, okay, it's going to take between 6 to 8 hours surgery. So they advised her to go home, take care of the kids, and then come back. When they are ready, they'll call her to come back. But most likely, it's not going to happen. A 6 to 8 hour surgery took 2 hours. And they called my wife, and when they called her, she knew I was gone, because that's what they told her, that I'm going to die on the table. 2 hours, they called and said, everything is done. He's doing very well, everything. So she came back to the hospital to see me. When they called her, she came. I was then in a what's it called, an induced coma. And she sang praises, songs, and just thanking God, praising God. And I could hear everything, but I couldn't touch or do anything, And when I woke up and I told her that I met with God, the first thing she thought I was cuckoo, because I never spoke like that. I never spoke like that, and I told her everything God, and everything I told her that would happen, happened. Number one, the surgery was done in 2 hours. I had an open heart surgery. Till today, not even a single pain. No pain. I was shocked over 20 times, not even a scratch on my body. I used to wear glasses, my eyesight 20/20 vision. And know, and he talked to me throughout, and he, I'm a miracle standing here, and
Come on, give it up for Jesus.